Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 7, Text 6. Maitreya Vacha
Maitreya Uvacha
Tada Sarvani Bhutani
Tथा सर्वाणि भूतानि
Shrutva Midhushtamoditam
श्रुत्वा मिदुस्तम् उदितम्
Paritushtat Mabhistata
परितुष्टा आत्मभितात
Sadhu Sadhva iti atha Bruvan.
साधु साधु इति अथा अभूवनः.
The great sage Maitreya said, My dear Vidur, all the personalities present were very much satisfied in heart and soul upon hearing the words of Lord Shiva, who is the best among the Benedictors. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In this verse, Lord Shiva is described as Midhushtama, the best of the Benedictors. He is also known as Ashutosh, which indicates he is very quickly satisfied and very quickly angered. So Lord Shiva, everyone knows, he's called Ashutosh. Very easy to please him. That's the reason many people want to approach him for benedictions. You know, majority people want to approach Lord Shiva because they know he's easily satisfied. But point to understand is he's also easily angered, very quickly angered. And here all the demigods and everyone is very satisfied with what Lord Shiva said. Yesterday we heard he said that he was not angry with the demigods out of any enmity or any envy. It was just for their own betterment. And how he's already the Bhaga and Pushta and Daksh, he's already given them benedictions, how they will be able to eat and see, and the beard of Brigu. So it is said in Bhagavad Gita that less intelligent persons go to the demigods for material benedictions. In this connection, people generally go to Lord Shiva. And because he is always quickly satisfied and gives benedictions to his devotees without consideration, he's called Midhushtama, or the best of the benedictors. So Midhushtama, the best of benedictors. He very easy to give benediction. Doesn't matter what people ask him. He keeps giving them. Like we know that somebody asked him, if I put my hand on someone's head, they should burn. Lord Shiva even gave such a benediction. So he's called Midhushtama. The materialistic persons are always anxious to get material profit, but they are not serious about spiritual profit. We look at things in our short term, instant. We want instant sense gratification, instant. The world is full of instant nowadays, faster and faster. We do not realize that material sense gratification is going to keep us here longer in the material world. We are not able to see the benefits of spiritual life. But of course, once we engage in spiritual life, then we can experience it. Like Prabhupada would say, the taste of the pudding is in eating it. But we have to eat it first. Then we will be able to taste it. But because people are not able to maybe see it much, then we say, no, I don't want to get into it. Sometimes, of course, it so happens that Lord Shiva becomes the best benedictor in spiritual life. It is said that once a poor Brahmana worshipped Lord Shiva for a benediction. And Lord Shiva advised the devotee to go see Sanatana Goswami. So this is a very good benediction that Lord Shiva is giving this Brahmana. The Brahmana has satisfied Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva is so pleased with him. He's telling him, go see Sanatana Goswami. And the Shastras say that Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra kahe. Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi hai. So for the perfection of this Brahmana, Lord Shiva is telling him, you go meet Sanatana Goswami. The devotee went to Sanatana Goswami and informed him that Lord Shiva had advised him to seek out the best benediction from Sanatan. Sanatan had a touchstone with him, which he kept in the garbage. On the request of the poor Brahmana, Sanatan Goswami gave him the touchstone, and the Brahmana was very happy to have it. So this Brahmana is going to Sanatan Goswami and said that, okay, Lord Shiva told me you have a valuable treasure. You please give me the best benediction you can give me. So Sanatan Goswami, he said, okay, go. There is a touchstone lying somewhere here in this garbage. Go pick it up and take it. So Brahmana was so happy, means whatever he's going to touch with this touchstone is going to turn into gold. So he's really happy. Imagine we get something and we touch everything, it turns into gold. He now could get as much gold as he desired simply by touching the touchstone to iron. But after he left Sanatan, he thought, if a touchstone is the best benediction, why has Sanatan Goswami kept it in the garbage? He therefore returned and asked Sanatan Goswami, Sir, if this is the best benediction, why did you keep it with the garbage? There's something to think about. The Brahmana is intelligent. If this is so valuable, why is it lying around in the garbage just like that? Do we keep our valuables in the garbage? No, we like to keep it nicely, safely, somewhere protected. So this Brahmana is intelligent. He's thinking now, what happened? How come? How come he's kept this valuable thing in the garbage? So Sanatan Goswami then informed him, actually, this is not the best benediction. But are you prepared to take the best benediction from me? The Brahmana said, yes, sir. Lord Shiva has sent me to you for the best benediction. Then Sanatan Goswami asked him to throw the touchstone in the water nearby and then come back. So the Sanatan Goswami is saying, you want the best benediction? You go, please throw this touchstone and come. Then I will give you. And the Brahmana has so much faith in the words of Lord Shiva and in Sanatan Goswami. So he's doing as Sanatan Goswami tells him. The poor Brahmana did so, and when he returned, Sanatan Goswami initiated him with the Hare Krishna mantra. Thus, by the benediction of Lord Shiva, the Brahmana got the association of the best devotee of Lord Krishna and was thus initiated at the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. I'm sorry. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sorry. Thank you. So we can see that even if we get a touchstone, the touchstone is still material. We may think, yes, getting a touchstone is the best benediction for me, but still it's material. There is no comparison to the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra because it is completely on the transcendental platform. We cannot put a value to it. It's priceless. It's the most valuable treasure we can get. So, because Lord Chaitanya and his followers are giving it so easily, we may not be able to realize the worth of it, the value of it. But it is truly very valuable, as we can see in this pastime. It's evident in this pastime. Anyone wanted to say anything in this connection?
So like they are telling the glories of the name chanting Hare Krishna, right? That is what is glorified here. And also that like this is the best.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yes. Better than any material benediction is the chanting of the Hare Krishna. When we get the chanting of Hare Krishna, that's the best gift that we can ever receive.
And also, there's an example like Ram ka naam, Ram se bara bhi hai. So just taking the name of the Lord also is it's more than Lord himself. Right? The example
right.
In Ramayana.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's right.
the rocks, right? A stone, they put the name, Ram, they're writing, and it could float the water.
That's right. The
sea.
stones could float in the water just by writing the name of Ramchandra. Yes, the holy name of the Lord is very powerful. We simply have to approach the holy name with humility and take shelter of the holy name. This is what Lord Chaitanya is telling us. So by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, we have been given this chanting. We should completely try to take shelter of this holy name. Tato midvasham amantriya
Tato
Tato midvasam
midvamsham
amantrayah
shunashira saharshibihi
shunashira saharshibhi
Shunashirashihi
bhuyastadeva yajanam
bhuyasya
Deva
taddeva yajanam
Yajanam
samidvad vedaso yayuhu.
Samidvat
samidvat
Vedashoya
vedasahayayuhu.
Thereafter, Bhrigu, the chief of the great sages, invited Lord Shiva to come to the sacrificial arena. Thus, the demigods, accompanied by the sages, Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, all went to the place where the great sacrifice was being performed. The whole sacrifice arranged by King Daksh had been disturbed by Lord Shiva. Therefore, all the demigods present there, along with Lord Brahma and the great sages, specifically requested Lord Shiva to come and revive the sacrificial fire. So now they are inviting with all glory, all with amantriya, it said they're inviting the Lord Shiva to come to this sacrifice. There is a common phrase, Shiva Hina Yagya. Any sacrifice without the presence of Lord Shiva is baffled. Lord Vishnu is Yagyeshwar, the Supreme Personality in the matter of sacrifice. Yet, in each yagya, it is necessary for all the demigods headed by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva to be present. So this is how the sacrifices would be performed. The demigods were personally invited to take part in this sacrifice. And we do not have this kind of qualification in Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, the demigods don't come to this earth. So how can we perform these sacrifices? That's the reason in this age of Kali, we are given the sacrifice of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. When we are chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, that is a sacrifice we are performing. Sankirtan Yagya. Vidhaya Kartsneya Chatad
Vidhaya katsena cha
Yad Aha Bhagavan Bhavaha
yad aha bhagavan bhavaha
Sandadushaya Kayena
sandadu kasya kayena
Savaniya Pasho Shiraha.
savaniye pashoshiraha.
After everything was executed exactly as directed by Lord Shiva, Daksha's body was joined to the head of the animal meant to be killed in the sacrifice. This time, all the demigods and great sages were very careful not to irritate Lord Shiva. Therefore, whatever he asked was done. It is specifically said here that Daksha's body was joined to the head of an animal, a goat. So, as we just heard, Lord Shiva is not only easily pleased, but he is also easily angered. And so the demigods have now just experienced Lord Shiva's anger and they don't want to anger him anymore. So they're really very careful of what to do. Whatever he's telling them, they are doing it. And he's asked them to bring the head of the goat, which was for the sacrifice. It was used in the sacrifice. And Daksha's body was joined to this head. Sandhiyamane shirasi
Sandhiyamane sirshi
Daksho rudrabhivikshitaha
Daksho Rudra Abhivikshitaha
Sadhya supta ivothasto
Sadhya Supta Ivotastyo
Dadurshe chagrato mridam
Tadrishe Jagrata
When the animal's head was fixed on the body of King Daksh, Daksh was immediately brought to consciousness, and as he awakened from sleep, the king saw Lord Shiva standing before him. The example given here is that Daksh got up as if he were awakened from deep sleep. In Sanskrit, this is called Supta Ivotastho. Supta Ivotastho, awakened from deep sleep. The meaning is that after a man awakens from sleep, he immediately remembers all the duties which he must execute. So it happens to us also when we wake up in the morning, then we say whatever we had planned last night, the night before, then all that comes to, we remember that, oh, I have to do this, I have to go here, whatever. So Daksh was killed and his head was taken away and burned to ashes. His body was lying dead. But by the grace of Lord Shiva, as soon as the head of a goat was joined to the body, Daksh came back to consciousness again. This indicates that consciousness is also individual. Daksh actually took another body when he took on the head of a goat. But because consciousness is individual, his consciousness remained the same, although his bodily condition changed. So we may think that by the change of the body, everything might change. We may think, oh, everything changes with the change of the body. Yeah, sure, the externals change, the circumstances, the external, everything else changes. But how we react to that circumstance changes, remains the same because we are the same person. We don't change. The consciousness of the soul, it how could it completely change in one moment? It can't. It will continue in the same way. So this is evident by this pastime. Daksha's consciousness, he remembers everything. His body is different now, so he has a different body, but the consciousness remains the same. So similarly, we may think, oh, death is the solution for everything. I will die and then I don't need to suffer anymore. But we forget we are eternal. We are eternal. So what we need to do, we have to become Krishna conscious, change our consciousness. It's not that simply by change of body, everything is going to be become good. Yeah, sure, maybe, if we have a diseased body, old body, yeah, sure, we will get a younger body, we will get a newer body. Yeah, of course, yes. But what about the consciousness? That remains the same. So we really need to work on our consciousness. Thus, bodily construction has nothing to do with the development of consciousness. Consciousness is carried with the transmigration of the soul. There are many instances of this in Vedic history, such as the case of Maharaj Bharat. After quitting his body as a king, Maharaj Bharat was transferred to the body of a deer, but he retained the same consciousness. He knew that although formally he was King Bharat, he had been transferred to the body of a deer because of his absorption in thinking of a deer at the time of his death. So Maharaj Bharat remembered. He remembered his previous life. He realized why is he in the body of a deer? Because he was so attached to the deer. He was thinking of the deer so much, especially at the time of death. In spite of his having the body of a deer, however, his consciousness was as good as it was in the body of King Bharat. So even though he was in the body of a deer, he would go and hear the sages He would go near the temples where the sages were doing, where they were hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord. And the deer, and he was doing that. So an ordinary deer does not do that. But Maharaj Bharat, in the body of the deer, was doing it. So it goes to show that the consciousness is individual. It is. He's not acting like the other deers. And that the consciousness goes on, continues, eternal. The arrangement by the Lord is so nice that if a person's consciousness is turned into Krishna consciousness, there is no doubt that in his next life, he will be a great devotee of Krishna, even if he's offered a different type of body. So consciousness is what is really important. And so that's the reason we are being advised to become Krishna conscious.
But in
That
our
is the original
case,
consciousness. I'm
sorry,
sorry?
but in our case, we don't remember what we have done past birth, right?
Yeah, we don't. We don't.
Mm.
But
So this is like
it's, yeah, because Bharat Maharaj was really a very pure devotee. You know, he was on the stage of Bhava, just one stage below Prema, but very advanced devotee, pure devotee of the Lord. But what happens is we can see in our own life as we engage in devotional service, we may experience changes in our consciousness even while we are in this body. Maybe they are not so obvious, but if we introspect a little bit, we will be able to. We can detect, oh, there is some changes in the consciousness. And even if we don't realize in the next life, even if we don't remember the past life, it will begin. How much ever cleaning we have done, we will begin from that point. Because right now we are cleaning our consciousness, purifying our consciousness by hearing, by chanting. So how much ever we have done, that will remain. That is never going to be lost, even if we forget. But that remains. Yeah,
yeah.
that remains. That's how we can see so many children. Nowadays more and more we see children of devotees, but they're so small and they can
Yeah,
sing the Maha Mantra so nicely. They are doing
can chant.
mridanga, they're
Yeah.
chanting. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. How is it coming from? It's coming from previous life.
Even we have seen like that, no? Some like animal like that. How the animal is also
Yes,
going to the temple, like it's standing outside. Yeah,
yes, yes. It's
so
true.
there must be,
Yeah,
yes. Right.
yeah. So even though we don't remember the whatever the consciousness has evolved to in spiritual life, we begin from that point. In material things, we forget everything. Again, we have to learn the ABCs, again, everything. But spiritual life, no. Whichever we have, gotten more faith, gotten more devotion, we will begin from that point in the next life.
Right. And
But
as
that's
Krishna
not lost.
says, no, that Krishna gives us remembrance and forgetfulness. Right?
Yes, that's right. Yes. Says that in the 15th chapter. Yeah. Thank you so much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.